going to have to do some legwork with some questions. So hopefully Ian can answer your car modelling related questions. We've also got some project updates to crack along with, and I've got my dehydrator rather. That's me rehydrating. That's me wanting a cup of tea. So
I have flashbacks to Reanimator for a minute then.
Oh gosh, yeah. So, how do you want to start this one tonight, Ian? Because this is very much your show tonight. So
I just need to go for a lie down, to be fair.
Fair enough.
I'm all right. Yeah, let's talk about stuff. I've got some bits and pieces over here that are kind of, you know, that thing where you can never have quite too many projects.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Yes. Obviously, we've been working on this thing. So I'll show you this.
Mm-hmm.
This is we've been working on the Lancia Stratos for a little while. The only bit that's in a condition I'm happy to show anybody is this, which is the front element of the body. Everything else is quietly cooking somewhere off stage right of that one.
In the dehydrator?
No, the last of the decals and the touch-ups were done a couple of days ago. So they're curing off before I wash it thoroughly prior to clear coat.
Yeah.
Those of you who've been around this will know that I had a few issues when I clear coated this, caused by the decal adhesive trapped under it. It's not perfect. A blind man will be pleased to see it though. So that might need a little flatback and a polish if I deem it necessary. But to be honest, it's shiny. It looks all right.
I think the other thing to bear in mind, Ian, and this is a little bit of pragmatism that I have to remind myself at times, is that we're not putting these in for competition.
No, we're not.
Display models.
Yeah, it's just.
And I know it's pride on our part that we want to deliver something to such a high standard that we want it to be kind of competition level. But yeah, I think sometimes you do have to kind of stop and go,
I think not many people are going to get nearer than about 4 or 5 foot away from this when it's done.
Yep.
And I think
beautiful.
If you take it into consideration, it's fine. If you look at it up close and start, you can see where some of the decal solvent damage is still here. See it?
Mm-hmm.
And in here. But like I say, from 6 foot, like I say, a blind man would be pleased to see it. So it's at a point now where I can start adding the ancillary bits and pieces to this, lights and light bar and grill, etc. They're all painted off camera and ready to go. So, but what I do want to do is make sure that I've got the interior of this part painted first. So there are some insert pieces that go in here to box out the backs of the lights. I'm going to get them mounted, do a bit of masking, and most of this is black. The back of the girl, I don't know if you noticed, but there's a line embossed around this.
Yes.
Which suggests there's another version of this coming.
I would say that does look like a slide mold.
Yeah, it does. So, but there is one with a different vents. I was trying to pin it down earlier, and I can't remember whether it's a late or an early car. But
here we go. Andy King says, "How's that Stratos going, Ian? Or shouldn't I ask?" No, you're quite right to ask, Andy.
I mean, the rest of the bodywork is decaled. All the touch-ins are done. It needs. I want to make sure it's properly dry before I go to the sink and wash it down with soap and water. So, and then it'll get a clear coat. It's not far off. I mean, it's one of those ones where one day I'll turn around and it'll be done. Just randomly. But right. So this panel here, from the reference photographs I've got, should be like an aluminium finish on the back of it. Which is interesting. So mask that off. Paint the remaining areas of the interior black, and may even brush paint that if I fancy, and then put a bit of bare metal foil over that and make it fit, and then that'll be ready for mounting to the car. Just spotted a slight run in the clear coat, but that'll polish out quite easily. But
are you going? Sorry to interrupt. Are you going to have it so that the that can tilt forward to show off the engine?
They'll probably actually try and mount it that way, because this is the spare wheel well and the front suspension and everything.
Okay.
Of course, it's rear engined, so the engine deck will be back as well. It's a proper clamshell design.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but there is progress. It is slow. It's not as quick as I'd have hoped. Meanwhile, I'm also working on the Bugatti from the same.
This really is kind of what's the word I'm looking for? This is kind of just extremes, isn't it? You're doing a 70s supercar, and now you're doing a 1920s supercar.
Yes, this is the 1928 Bugatti 35 that Italeri also produce.
Mm-hmm.
This is an older kit than the Stratos.
Mm-hmm.
And it's better, which is frustrating. It's better. The fit of this and the way it builds up is, just head and shoulders ahead of the Stratos. I feel that the Stratos was rushed at the end, and you like I said, I think on a previous show, I got the feeling that kind of on a Monday morning, someone walked into the workshops where the design and everything was being done on the Stratos and said, "Dear lads, you do know we need that out in the market by Sunday," and all hell let loose. So, whereas this thing, it feels a finished product. Albeit this is the second or third boxing of this kit. There were extra bits in this one that haven't been in others. So also included in the box was this little sprue here. Now, you'll note there's a bit missing off here, because the bit I needed for the Targa Florio one was here, which was the spare wheel mount, because that car ran with two spare wheels, one on either side. And there's a very specific spare wheel mount that goes on this side to clear the, I think it's the gear shift lever, like the clutch actually, that's here. And so that was what was here. But this is actually an ancillary fuel tank that was fitted in that seat in the Grand Prix car that ran in Monaco in 1930.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the blue option in the kit. The Targa Florio car I'm building, driven by a lady by the name of Elizabeth Yunek, who was Eastern European by extraction, but I believe drove under Belgian licensing regulations, hence the yellow. Belgian racing cars in that period tended to be yellow, so you see yellow Ferraris with running under Belgian team regulations and stuff. So it is nice. There are some issues. The chrome work in the kit was absolutely appalling. When I stripped it, it just took ages and ages to strip.
Did you strip it with bleach?
Well, I tried bleach, and bleach didn't touch it.
Oh.
Perversely, bleach took it off the wheels, because the wheels were in a different finish. They were in like a satin silver finish, which is appropriate to the car. The car has like a pressed steel wheel, and that was but the bleach took that off in seconds. But the chrome, I ended up having to go to multiple applications of oven cleaner to shift that, which was it took, and even then, as you can see here, it's left almost like a residue behind, which I just can't shift.
No.
So I'm going to prime it up. The thing is, and the rather nice thing is, the kit provides a beautiful decal sheet.
So that will cover most of that then.
Well, it's got
I can see.
Turned metal finish on it, which is very.
Yeah, that's nice. That.
So this bit here is this face, and then this one, obviously, on the instrument panel. Let's get that in. That's awfully, and get you that together. That one goes on the instrument panel. So I'll try and get a decent primer and silver finish on that, and then apply that over the top. That decal is absolutely lovely. This is, again, typical of recent Italeri. It's a cartograph sheet.
Mm-hmm.
But the nice thing is, you see, obviously it's slit, much like the Stratos was.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes over the hood vents. I'm not as organised tonight as I should be because I've been panicking about that blooming laptop. So the hood vents on the top, it sits like that.
Mm-hmm. That's genius.
Yeah, so they're really nice. But they also give you a set of pre-cut tape masks, so you can spray it.
Excellent.
Which is a nice backup.
Yep.
I'm not sure how well that's going to work on the front of the radiator on the Monaco car, but again, there's a set of masks for that, so you can spray that onto the radiator body, which would be a better bet, I have to say.
Sorry to interrupt, Ian. I'm just gonna say also, am I right in thinking Italeri have moulded this in kind of matchbox style in different colours?
They have
people who don't want to paint it, you know, for less experienced modelers, they can get a finish, can't they?
Yeah, I mean, they've done that, and they've done it in the Stratos as well. Now I'm going to sound a bit. I'm not sure that someone who's not going to want to paint it is going to spend £225 on it, though.
That's true.
You know, if you're going to outlay £225 for a kit, are you not going to want to paint it? I don't know. I really don't. What were we saying? Yes. So that's that one. Also, we've seen this a couple of times before. This is actually making some progress. This is now completely decaled. I've just test fit the chassis and the interior into this. So this is the Hasegawa Nissan Skyline. There's a B&R 32. This is a car that ran at and won the Macau Grand Prix Gaia race in 1990. There's some interesting setup instrument. This is a really detailed chassis. It's a beautiful piece of kit, this. You know, Hasegawa, when Hasegawa go out their way to do something, you usually get the best you can. And this is probably one of the best renditions of an R32 Skyline racer in the market. Bearing in mind that both Hasegawa and Fujimi have done that car. The Fujimi one is quite simplified and a little bit toy-like in some ways because you can adjust things like the toe and the height and all that on the suspension. But this is just the detailed, oh my word, version. It's lovely, to be fair. I've really enjoyed building it. I have, however, just had a decal that's in the wrong place, but that's beside the point. But that's probably a couple of weeks away. Needs a wash down, a couple of good clear coats, then masking for the window surrounds. The windows are already painted. The headlamp lenses are already painted. There's a little bit of paintwork to do on the nose here because these should be red and green, these two slats, but that can be done later. And then really it's final assembly. Everything else is done. So that should be done. For those of you going to the Stoke show on the 31st of August, I would love to bring that with me as a finished model, if only so it's off the bench.
Yes, I know the feeling.
Yeah. But that's I'll give you an idea of where we are with these. Come back to those Italeri kits. This is the exhaust pipes for the Bugatti. There's an hour's work there. Getting that round, getting the exhaust tip faired in, getting rid of the enormous screw release part that was molded up, that was on the side of it, and multiple ejector pins on this side. I've just refilled one last night. This is another one to fill, and then there's more.
How many parts to that exhaust, Ian?
In total, 4.
Right.
So you've got, this is a one-piece mold with tips on both ends, on both of them. That said, they look very good, and they fit.
Nice. Oh, that's tight.
Yeah, they do fit nicely. And I've test fitted the engine block into place, and it lines up onto the exhaust manifold absolutely perfectly. That's not a problem. I just think that I posted yesterday on my Facebook feed. Yeah, if I'd had half the talent that Drew has around 3D drawing, there'd have been a 3D printed replacement for this by now. Because it would have probably taken me less time to do that than it did to sand it.
Yeah, the thing about that, Ian, is that when we're unfortunately when we're doing projects like this, we're not building them for us. We're building them for the manufacturer.
If I put that on the table at Telford and go, there you go, and it sits there, no one can see that exhaust.
No,
the I know it's there comes in, doesn't it?
I know. I'm afraid this is where sometimes we have to be when we're building to spec and we're building display models, we just have to be a little bit pragmatic and go, well, those are the tools we've been given to work with. That's what we've got to work with. And I know from speaking to from my own experience within doing this kind of stuff is that sometimes projects are given to people, they start treating it as an enthusiast, as their model, and people are tearing their hair out and saying, where's the kit, where's the model for the display? And they go, oh, I haven't finished super detailing it yet. And it's like, that's not what you're supposed to be doing with it.
I mean, I am genuinely not adding anything to these that was not in the box. The only thing I've changed is the Stratos seatbelt material, but we've had that conversation before.
Yeah.
And Italaria are aware of that, incidentally.
Right, we've got some questions. This is the Q&A part of tonight's show. So we will kick off with neighbour Rory down the other end of Somerset. He says, what gloss paints do you use?
I mainly use lacquers now, Rory. Mr. Colour and Tamiya lacquers. With their gloss coats, because you can thin them with leveling thinners, you will get a very high gloss very easily. But as you know from conversations we've had on the show before, the what's underneath the paint is as much an issue than what's on top of it. So it is all about prep with car bodies. We've had that conversation umpteen times. But if you've got a decently prepared primer coat with a smooth finish and you put a coat or two of Tamiya lacquer, whatever color, over the top of it, you'll have a lovely finish, and you'll be what I often do, and you'll know, is that I'll put a clear coat over the top, a clear gloss over the top to give it a bit more once I've got the decals on and stuff. Which is where we are here, So this is, in fact, correction, this is Tamiya Rattle Can TS1, the TS26, which is basically what's in the lacquer bottles that you buy over the counter. Because it's a lacquer-based material, so lacquer-based material, decal, wash it. Step I didn't make. That'll be my own fault. And then,
when you say, sorry to interrupt, Ian, when you say wash it, you literally mean clean it, not apply a weathering wash.
No.
You mean clean it to get rid of the decal residue. Yeah,
so the decal adhesive from Cartograph decals in particular can be very heavy and very cloying.
Yeah.
And you know that thing when you've had a long day and you just think, oh, I'm going to do that now. And I skip that step. And that's put me back 2 weeks on this build, at least 2 weeks. Because this thing's been flatted and sanded and clear coated 3 more times, and it didn't need to be.
No.
If I washed it, I'd have been all right. But there you go. So wash it with a bit of soap. And all I use is a couple of squirts of washing up liquid. Yep. Make sure it's not got silicone in it. I should have that on my gravestone. Make sure it does not have silicone in it. Because obviously with modern paints, silicone is the root to all evil. That's why we get fish eyes in clear coats and stuff. And then give it a couple of coats of whatever your gloss clear of choice is. I've got some of the Galeria stuff to try, and I keep meaning to try it. I'm being recommended to that by a few people. Right. Mainly, I have to say, from the Gundam side of the hobby. But at the minute I'm using there's never a can to hand. As I always say at work when I'm trying to tell someone what a car is, there's another one to point at when you need one. This is Gunze Mr. Super Clear UV Cut Gloss, so it doesn't yellow under the ultraviolet light. That's what UV cut means. They also offer that in a bottle as GX112. It'll thin with Mr. Color leveling and give you a beautiful gloss coat, and you can build the finish up, and you can mix it because they do a satin and a matte version. So you can, if you're looking for a moderated gloss coat, race cars aren't gloss. Formula One cars now are all matte satin, but you know, race cars aren't gloss. They look glossy. They're definitely glossy at the beginning of races, but they're never at the end. But tone your gloss back a bit, unless you're doing something like a show car or a supercar. That really inch deep gloss can be a little bit too much sometimes. But
That's interesting. I'm taking notes here, Ian, because at some stage,
it's looking good. That
I've got my. I need to get this finished. My my Zac Speed. I keep calling it the Albarth, and I get it mixed up with the Fiat. I need to get the Zac Speed done for Telford. So I've got a couple of cans. You what? Sorry.
Did you put your post-it note on the screen?
You're very good. No, I remembered that.
Did you? Whoa.
Yes, I know. Good old me. But yes. Right, we got some more questions. This is the questions element of tonight's show. And whilst you've got that bonnet there, Andy King says, "What did you use paint-wise to match that green, please, Ian?"
I had to blend it, Andy. I used, and they're both here because I left them out in case I needed them. I used a mix. It's about 60-40 C64 to C66 Mr. Color lacquer. So the yellow green with about 40% of the dark green in it, and then it was a case of I'd sprayed out. I'd got a bit of the spare decal on a piece of card, and I was just testing it as I mixed it. So that was about my mix. And I must admit, I have run out of my mix. So of late, I've had to mix it on the fly. So I wish I'd made more of it. Although having said that, I've got hardly any of them left now. So I'm a bit stumped if I need any more in the short term.
Quick question, Ian. Where'd you get those? Labels on the lids?
Amazon.
Okay.
There's a guy on Amazon, and I can't remember his name. And there's a couple of people out there doing them now, but he does all the Tamiya XF range and X range. He does all the Tamiya lacquer range. He does all the Mr. Color C series, and I believe he now does the GXs.
Well, there you go, gang. Somebody out there, go onto Amazon, find us the link for that, because they look brilliant. Right.
I'm pretty sure Anne-Marie, if you're out there, Anne-Marie saw mine and has bought them. So if Anne-Marie's got the link on her Amazon back orders, she might be able to share it up into the group for us. There
you go, viewer Anne-Marie. There is your challenge for tonight. Right, another question here, Ian. Paul Dunham says, back in the early days of injection kits, there was an issue of the soft plastic tyres causing the other plastic parts to melt after prolonged contact with the tyres. With the relatively new availability of cast and printed resin parts, have there been any issues of dissimilar materials not playing well together? So there we go.
Right. So aircraft modelers of a certain age will remember AMT putting vinyl tires in their Tiger Cat, and they ate the plastic. The thing is, when you go back to the funny thing, I put this on the side not to have this conversation, but I was going to show this off. So this is this is one of my absolute, this is a 1958 59 rather Edsel. So that's 64 years old, that kit. when I ever get something of that age, the first thing I do is I will open the box and I will put the tires in a bag. Okay, they might still be on the wheels, but I'll put the tires in a bag, because those vinyl tires, like the AMT Tiger Cat kit, eat plastic. And you'll often find them with scars. And I'm trying to remember, I thought this one had one on, but I don't think it has. You'll find them with like a scar in the plastic where the tire has sat against it and and quietly dissolved the material. Now, yeah, okay, it's all right on the bodywork because you can do stuff with it, but you get it a lot on the transparencies. It's like the clear plastic's more prone to it. So Paul's question is really interesting, because I'm hearing a few people talking about the 3D printed resins being less
susceptible.
No, less safe around some of the cleaning solutions.
Oh, right.
Someone, was it I read somewhere? Someone had used bleach to try and strip paint off of a 3D printed body, and had basically come back to a pot of mush. Well, yeah, but I said, so Paul's question is quite interesting. I don't know that there's an issue around the dissimilar materials now, Paul, because the T's latest generation, your Pegasus and things like that, they've changed the material over time to get around that issue. But I am hearing odd stories about, particularly the 3D printed resins. You've got to be a little bit careful about what you clean them with, etc. So I'm still learning that one. And honestly, I'm not around 3D printed stuff enough to answer that, because when I tend to get 3D printed stuff, it's because I bought a set of wheels or something. Well, half the time most of the time they actually sit in a box and I never actually do anything with them. But half the time when I do use them, they go straight in for a primer, and I use an etch to seal it, and then they get paint on them straight away. So I'm sealing them away behind the paint layer, so that's not an issue. I've never tried to strip any yet, so no doubt the first time I have to do it, it'll be a really expensive and almost irreplaceable set that I'll promptly ruin. But there you go.
When you say, sorry to interrupt, when you say etch primer, what would that be?
I use either a 2-pack primer, which is a material with an activator. Now, this is related to 2-pack clear coats, which are a really moot point. If Drew was on with us right now, he'd be foaming at the mouth. He
would. I can sense. I can see the. I can see
doing it from here.
Yeah, I can see it floating across from Yeovil at the moment.
There are lots and lots of people out there using 2-pack clear in environments that personally I would not touch it.
No.
When I do use 2-pack materials, and it is very specific, I will. This is why I have extraction. I wear a t-shirt that covers my arms to my gloves, with an elasticated cuff, or put the gloves over the top. You do not want that stuff coming into contact with your skin. It's carcinogenic on a level that is catastrophic.
Off the scale. You only need, I think Drew and I had this conversation, you only really need one exposure to it to have lifelong health problems.
Yeah. But there's a couple of guys. There's a guy who's on tonight, who's a member of my club, and I'm not going to mention his name because I'll get sworn at next time I see him. But he uses it routinely.
I think the problem you got there, Ian, is that there are people out there who have been lifelong smokers and they've never had,
it's that ilk, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's that kind of, it's that roulette of some people can have just constantly drawing the bum deal on it, and you're always going to get people who are lucky, who manage to ace their way through life doing these kind of things without any kind of negative repercussions for themselves. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
No.
I
mean, I used 2-pack for a while, And then I had the misfortune, whatever you want to call it, of spending an evening in the company of a respiratory surgeon. I've never touched it since. Other than in these there are some materials where an etch type or a 2-pack primer is essential. Metal and resin, I use etch primer primarily. And our friends at Zero, Steve and Tash, make that. Now that's a 1-pack, not a 2-pack. It's an etch primer for metals, and also I use it on resins. And I get, this is good actually. I'm really enjoying this thing.
This is good workout.
Yeah. Because, funnily enough, a lot of the things we've talked about, I had to hand, and not intentionally. You get, with that etch primer, you get a really lovely finish.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's a single coat over raw sanded resin. Obviously, I've not that bit sorted. And I have to say, this is an FPP model kit from a while ago of quite a rare racing Aston Martin, and it's not the best thing in the world, but that's come up beautifully under that primer. So that's actually not far off of getting paint on that. Theoretically, that's at Telford. Anyway, so but that's what the etch primer can do. Brilliant stuff for resin.
Got another question here, Ian.
Well, I was just going to ask, just below that one from Paul Dunham, Tim Alexander Maunders made a question about short quattros.
There we go.
New B-Max make a short wheelbase quattro, Tim?
I'm sure I've built one.
They do an S. There's obviously Tamiya do an S2, but I think B-Max did an S1. Not my field of expertise, rallying quattros, I have to admit. But you might want to have a look at that. There you go.
I'm trying to remember what was the there was the Audi that I built for Telford 2 years ago, bearing in mind
that's me a reissue.
No, it was oh gosh, I'm just doing a live scroll. Here we go. Yes, the Nunu ex Aoshima Bunker Kyoza Company 24 scale Audi Quattro S1. So is that a short one?
I think that's a short wheelbase one, but Tim will no doubt correct me.
Right. But I'm just going to the page. You might want to look away here, Ian, because this is JM Builds a Car, and well, actually, it was a rally car, so I got to cover it with mud. So hide things with mud.
Yeah, I think that's a short wheelbase one. So there you go. But that kit exists, and it's still around, and there's another version of it as well to that one. I think it's come back out again.
I had great fun building that.
I mean, rally cars, you can do things like that too.
Well, this is why I'm looking at you, Ford Escort Zach Speed, because that's going to be a black finish, but it's going to get the mud, Ian. It's going to get treated like a military vehicle, quite frankly. So that's why I want to crack on with that. Like I say, I'm going to Trizac that primer right down. That's where I got rid of those sink marks from inside the bonnet. Why am I doing that? I've got my camera set up here. That's where those sink marks from the inside of the those strengthening strips on the bonnet, it left these sink marks on there. So that has been filled with Mr. Surfacer, several applications of Mr. Surfacer, and we're at a stage now where that's been primed a couple of times, and then we're going to go at it with some Trizac and take it down to a nice glossy finish. Talking of Trizac, there was a
Darren McQuillan. Where do I get it from?
Yeah, Darren.
Just about to point that one out to you.
Yeah.
eBay.
Yeah.
Stick Trizac. There's a couple of companies out there doing packs where you get like 6 3s, 3 6s, and sometimes an 8. But there's 1,500, 3,000, 6,000, and 8,000 now. To this point in time, I've actually only managed to get hold of one 8,000. I need to get some more because I love it. It's beautiful stuff, and it puts the most beautiful finish on before paint. But yeah, Trizact. Right, okay. It's a tool in our armory. You know, we're gonna do most of our work with these things, aren't we? Sanding sticks. But Trizact is that last making sure that finish is just what we want before we go anywhere near it with paint. I've got some. I'll come back to that one in a second. So yeah, brilliant tool. I think when you've got it, and just remember, Darren, treat it as a consumable. Don't try and eke out another car out of that bit you've got. Get another bit. Bin it when it goes to. Yes, we're watching you. You'll see. Yeah, I know you do it. I've seen you. You'll see this kind of breakdown in the finish. So a fresh bit looks like this, and a not fresh bit, it starts to get patches of black amongst the. You see it?
Yeah.
That's going towards the point where I wouldn't use that again. I'd either chop that bit off and use this bit, or I'd just throw it and get another bit out.
What will it do to the paint? Will it scratch it?
No, it just don't work.
Oh, right, okay.
You don't get the effect you want. So why bother? Just chuck it.
Yeah.
But as I say, the problem is, I have a drawer labeled Trizact. That's the 8,000, and you can see that stuff. I mean, look at that.
Good Lord. I think I've got some of that, actually.
Didn't you say you'd managed to get some somewhere? The other thing that's useful. Yes, it's a bit of denim.
Ah, yes.
This is very old school. Denim will just take those little knobs off.
Yeah.
So this, I'll come back to this model in a minute, but that's another useful little tool in the arsenal.
What have I got? Trizact 6,000, tiny little discs here.
Yeah, you got the little 1,500 discs, didn't you?
God no, I got a thing about.
They're still good. I mean, the thing is, it's the same material. It's just a smaller disc. Yeah.
I need to get some more Trizact as well. Sarah Jane makes a very, very good point on YouTube. Yep. She says gloss coats or polish is weight for race cars.
When you are next watching the Formula One, if you see a car, this year's McLaren is a real strong case in point for this. The car is black and orange. It's not. It's unfinished carbon fiber with orange vinyl. There's no paint on it, nothing. And the finish is, so they put the vinyl onto the black carbon finish. When you get up close to those cars, those black areas are carbon fiber. If they'd have gone red, if they'd have got there, oh, thank you. If they'd have gone black, if they'd left it, painted it black, it's adding weight.
So that black is
the black on that centre section is carbon fiber. All that front wing area is carbon fiber. All that lower deck area is carbon fiber. It's very, very rare that you'll see a modern F1 car where the black areas are black. They are usually just a void of space.
So the orange is paint or deck.
Well, it's vinyl.
It's vinyl. Yeah, vinyl.
Sticker. It's a sticker.
Yeah.
And now you often see little videos of guys when they put a new aero bit on it, frantically cutting bits of vinyl to make them fit. I do think that's a fantastic scheme.
Do you know what? That is a beautiful looking car as well.
Aren't we desperate for someone to do, but we've had this conversation.
It's unfortunately, it all comes down to.
It is. Well, it's more down to individual license cost as well. So.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Simon Lewis.
Right, we've got another question here. Simon Lewis. Right,
that's it. Extra. I don't use Tamiya extra thin for final assembly unless it's putting something to a pin from behind. So if I've put a piece with the pin and the pin goes through, I'll put the glue on the back. A little bit of extra thin, but I tend to use that one because of that.
Oh,
that brush is the most wonderful thing. That is, you know, when people go, oh, I love AK and I love ammo stuff, and I go, well, why? What does it do different to anything else? That's an ammo bottle that actually does something different to everything else. Basically, the content of that is absolutely the same as Tamiya Extra Thin, possibly the quick one.
yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe just the same. So basically the same as this, to all intents and purposes. Although no doubt ammo would tell me that isn't, and it's wonderful. But so would Tamiya. But that brush lifts that product above that just because of the finesse of application it promotes.
Right. Stand by, Ian, because as part of my having a good old sort out in the workshop here, what do we have here is I got the color version. Now I used this when it first came out on that ICM Lafley, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with it as a solvent. It does a brilliant job. The only thing it did do also was showed how absolutely atrocious my technique was, because it doesn't hide where it goes. And so I look at it and I think, oh, goodness me. Let's just say Tamiya Extra Thin hides a multitude of sins.
Yeah, so actually the coloured things all started with this.
Ah.
So that's the first of the coloured one I'm aware of. No doubt there'll be a Gundam modeler out there going, oh, Ian, you're talking rubbish. There was this before and they just copied it. But this is Mr. Colors Black, SP Black. So that's the Mr. Cement SP, which is the fast version. So they're equivalent of the quick drying extra thin in the lighter green bottle, but black. And I used to use this a lot when I was doing panel lines and things. So run, you know, when you scribe the line, you just run a little bit of glue down it just to take the burrs off.
Yeah.
I used to do it a lot. And then I discovered various other things for scribing my panels which don't need it. So I moved away from it. But that was the first one of the colored ones I ever saw. Ammo have now done, I think it's red, black, I want to say green, but I might be wrong. And it's basically just this stuff with a dye in it. They have their place. If you're working in an environment where you need to be able to see what you've done, the scratch builders love the colored ones. I know that because they can see where if you're putting complex shapes together in plastic card and you need to be able to see what's bonded and what haven't, it's fabulous stuff. Yeah, that's the one I've got. So. But those ammo ones are very good as well.
I just think what I've got to. This is Premium, just up the road from me, and I've got to put together an order for them with them at some stage. So I might. I know I've got coloured cement here. I know I have got literally. I've got acres of Tamiya Extra Thin and quick setting, but I do like to try new glues.
So the only problem with this one is, again, it's that, it's that brush, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's why I must admit, I have it in my mind, because I'm on my last bottle of Extra Thin at the minute. And to be honest, it's half a bottle of Extra Thin and half a bottle of quick drying, because I couldn't get the brush in the quick drying to the bottom, even having done the trick with extending it. You know about that one, don't you?
Yeah.
Those of you who don't, this is let me just quickly show you.
Yeah.
Here's your Tamiya brush. Yeah, your Tamiya glue brush. This bit is extendable. So get yourself a pair of pliers, and they're never to hand when you need them, and just pull it. Right, and now it reaches the bottom of the bottle.
Yep.
So there's a little. That's one of my favourite tips for recent years. That one. I didn't realise. I only found that out. And there was a Japanese guy on one of the Gundam at the minute, and one of these. So he's like, "Yo, do this," and I was like,
this is one of the things. This is why I will always say to people is cross genres, even if you're not going to build something from that genre. There is always something, a tip, a tool, something you never kind of like anticipated or realized that is, will aid you in what you're doing, which is why I like picking car modelers' brains, because frankly there are elements to getting that finish on that Zach speed that, as and when I get round to building my Hasegawa X29, which I will do, which we'll do next year, I want to get an absolutely concours white finish on that, so I can slap the old stickers on it. But yeah, it's cross genres, folks. Even if it's something you don't usually, not something you're likely to build, just read about what people do, because it will open your eyes. And also cross genres, build things. We're going to have this on the show at another stage. Build something that you don't usually do. Yeah. We will, perhaps next year, we will have the out of your comfort zone group build.
You've been threatening me with that for 2 years. And it's
no. I keep threatening Drew with it because he'll anyway.
Are we going to make him buy a car?
Yeah, he's got a couple actually. Right. We've got some observations here. My planes don't fly says, I'm lagging behind a bit and just listening to the Trizac conversation. There's only one T in it. Question: are micromesh polishing materials any good?
Yes.
Yeah, I second that.
Another one of those. I've got another tool for a job. Micromesh, there's that thing about sanding it in opposing directions as you go from layer to layer. And we all have pads. I've got a pack or two. I've also got the sheets. I use the sheets more than I do the pads now, because my pads, I'm using my
oh yes,
Infini ones a lot.
Infini ones, yeah.
Because I've also got hang on, there's this thing as well. I got these two, so they get a proper battering.
What's that? What were those ones you just showed? Oh, the sheets, yeah.
Yeah, and then you'll notice that in a lot of cases there's bits.
Yep.
I cut them up.
That's what they're designed to do.
Well, I got two sets. One I won't cut, and the second one I'll cut. And then when I get to it, I'll make the ones that I then haven't cut the ones to cut and replace them with a new set, because I am that way. Everything we have, and this is a phrase I've used a couple of times already tonight, is another tool in the armory. Everything has that use that we use. I am a tool whore. I'll put my whole life. I love a new tool. I'm desperate to get my hands on one of those centering drill things that you got.
Yeah.
So hopefully, come Telford, I'll have a little bit in the old slush fund, and I might be making an acquisition of one at that point. But everything we have, be it, look, that's Scale Aircraft Modeling did those as a set a couple of years ago. Little scale rulers. Now I don't use that as a scale ruler because this is 1/48 scale.
There we go, Ian.
Yeah. What it has got on the end of it is a lovely little saw edge. Look.
Yeah, that's Tim Perry did those, I think.
And that is beautiful.
Yeah. For
those little jobs of, I need to saw the edge of that canopy, or that's a fabulous thing. That's never not on my edge of my bench. I have a magnetic knife rack, which you can probably, there we go, look.
Yep. Oh gosh, yeah.
So that's a magnetic knife rack, and there's two back to back. And all my files, scissors, there's my Tamiya Decal scissors. They're one of the finest tools you can ever buy. There's a set of Despaye cutters. There's a set of Godhand cutters. And there's all that. There's 10 different scalpel Swan Morton handles up there, each with a different blade in, and they just get refreshed every week, to be honest. So all of that stuff is permanently with me. I don't use every one of those tools on every model.
No.
but when I need them, they're there. I'm having a few issues with. I've got arthritis in this hand,
Mm-hmm.
and I swear blind, it's this. Both hands, both thumbs. It's holding little bits and sanding them. So recently, I acquired this.
Rheostat.
It's a GSI Kraos piece. It's
All
actually
right, yeah.
sold by Gunze. And these, you see the little notches in the end?
Yeah.
You can pick a tiny piece up with those and work it, and it's a different grip.
Right. Ping me the details of that afterwards, because I am finding actually where after my Southmead holiday 2 years ago that I stopped biting my nails, which has been good for my guitar playing. What it has meant is that I'm trying to hold things, and I've got these blessed nails in the way now.
Yeah. So that one's just a plain gripper,
Yeah.
and this is a sliding gripper. So you put the piece in and then you slide it up. So yeah, probably rheostat. It's probably based on a medical tool, like say a rheostat or something.
Yeah.
It's a cool piece of kit and cuts down the pain in my wrists and thumbs significantly.
Got a question here from Jim Altegott. He says, "Question: Is Trizact?" So Jim's got me at it.
He's right. It's got 2 T's in it.
One T in it.
No, there
Jim.
isn't. No, there isn't. There's 2.
Is it 2 T's?
Yeah, it's 2 T's. So Trizact.
Trizact. You're right. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
It's
Is
German.
Trizact
Noise on
6,000 grit and
Yes.
above readily available for consumers? If so, where do you get yours, Ian?
So I get mine, as we said before, I get mine from eBay in the UK, Jim. I'm up to 8. You can get up to 8,000 grade over here. I'm told that one of the German marketplace has got 10,000 and 12,000, but I have never seen it. I don't know about the US market. I know you're on the other side of the pond. Way up, here we go. Now look, there's 8,000, but look at the price.
That's for 15, mind you, but
Yeah, I know, but yeah, I know. There you go. Look. It
There
is
we
the spend.
go.
So you can buy a disc. You can buy an 8,000 disc for a tenner. When I started buying Trizact, I got 12 15s and 6 3s for a tenner.
Yeah.
So the 8,000 stuff is really spendy gear, which is very interesting. Yeah. Dave Fleming's made a comment. I mentioned Galeria earlier. There's a new range come from Galeria, Dave. And oh, by the way, while we're talking to Dave, cheers, mate. I now have a ceramic scraper. He sent me a link to someone who had them in stock. There's a new range being promoted at the minute. It's just come out, aimed at the Gundam modelers. From the bottle, over bare plastic, full acrylic, gloss finish paint. And there's a guy, is it SQ Models, the guy that was talking about the external mix airbrush, the non-clean airbrush the other day.
Right.
And he's just been doing some test work with it, and I've seen some of his work. Again, it's Gundam. Yeah. But they look really good. And I have to admit, there is a temptation because non-chemical gloss finish, tempting. So I'm keeping a weather eye on that. I will report back on that. I sent him a message yesterday asking him about when it was going to be available and the like.
It's not Mr. Hobby, Mr. Color Gundam, is it?
No,
it's
a different range. It's a different manufacturer completely. I can't get to my phone because
that's fine.
It's here. I will do some digging around and I'll post about that at some point. Going down from Dave, I saw another comment. Anne-Marie's posted a link, I believe, for the stickers.
So the stickers, yeah, brilliant.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. That's much appreciated.
Just scrolls up, not scrolls down.
Paul Nags is confirming what I said. Had the problem with the 3D printed body that I stripped with Dettol and it melted my car body overnight. So apparently bleach and 3D printed resins do not go together. No, and I've read Mike Williams' made comment about a 2-pack, which is
I just won't. Unlike Drew, I really won't. I just won't have it in the workshop. It's I can just about cope with with the stuff that we do use and the safety protocols and spray booths and spray masks and everything, but no. I think Spence is the same. Is that we just won't touch it. I'm just trying to find. I'm just trying to find the what was the other comment we were looking for? Oh no, we've got one from Sarah.
Yes,
Sarah Jane. She says, "I do know that Salvinos JR are talking with Cadillac to do the WEC car, which may lead to the F1 car when they enter."
I didn't know that was public knowledge yet, Sarah Jane.
Okay. Well, we probably just have we just leaked something?
I was aware through rumor, shall we say. There's a guy who used to be on Brit Model who posts as the rumor monger, and I always loved reading his information. But yeah, so kind of JR Salvinos do the guys that acquired the old Monogram NASCAR toolings, the 1/24 scale Monogram NASCAR toolings, and they've reboxed them with power slide decals, new glass, new tires.
We've featured them on the show. Yeah, I've seen some bits. Yeah,
and they did a 1/20th scale IndyCar kit last year, maybe at the end of the year before. That is apparently absolutely stunning. I've yet to get hold of one because it retails for an obscene amount of money in the UK, and I've not been to America this year, so I haven't had a chance to. In fact, to be honest, while the orange idiot's in charge, I won't be going. But harsh. But they are obviously, because of the nature of who they are, they're very US centric around the product. So the Cadillac WEC car, which won its first ever race very recently, chuffed to bits for that. I thought at one point it was looking like they had a chance at Le Mans, and it all went really badly wrong at about 3 a.m. And which was gutting because Jenson Button was driving one of them, and I was egging him on to win it. Really was egging him on to win it. But anyway, so the rumor has it that Salvinos Jr. are doing the WEC Cadillac. Now, the hope is that if they do the WEC Cadillac and they get the license, we might see that coming over to the F1 car. The problem is those are two completely different entities. Cadillac WEC and Cadillac F1 Andretti Motorsport are different people. Different companies to all intents and purposes.
Different licensing.
Yeah, and that potentially could scupper that happening. It would be a real shame if it did, because I'd love to see a Salvinos Jr. 20th scale Cadillac F1 kit to the quality of their IndyCar would be stunning, because they will do it in 1/20th scale. Oh, he did he? He's made it public then. That's fantastic. That makes my life a happy place. I'd love the F1 car from them in that scale. And obviously they would, knowing them, they would do it in 20th scale. You know, the scale for F1 kits has devoted by Mr. Tamiya himself. And as we now know, that's so he could get battery boxes in them, which I think is brilliant. I didn't know that properly. I'd heard rumor and comment about it, but I'd never actually heard it from someone like Andy to confirm it. But the reason that the F1 kits by Tamiya are bigger is so you can get battery packs in them. Brilliant. So yeah, it'll be lovely if they do. Yeah. I always say this. I'll not hold my breath.
No. Mike Williams says, no, wrong one. Actually, that's a
Yeah.
very good point. He says, unfortunately, MIG
Oh.
Ammo use these same brushes in their decal solvents, same bottles too, and they're not as useful in that application as they're too fine a brush. But I was going to pick up on what Mike was. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. Mike says, I use 2-pack auto paint in my day job. Full PPE is de rigueur. That's your actual French, Mr. Horn. With a walk-in industrial extractor booth. They're not paints to be messed with. Seconded, thirded, fourthed. Yep, absolutely. You are going to get people in who use them and they say, well, I've been using them for years and I haven't had any health problems. Like I say, you get people who smoke 40 cigarettes a day and say, I haven't had any health problems. And it's just, you sit back and you're just like, okie dokie.
The thing is, you make your choices.
Yeah.
And your life choices are your life choices. They're not mine. And I'm never going to tell you you've done something wrong or right. If you understand the risk and you're prepared to take that risk, then that's entirely up to you. That's the bottom line. I see Mr. Fleming's comment, do I collect modelling solvents as well as car kits? Possibly.
What was that? Where am I looking?
Just above Mike's comment about MIG and ammo.
Yeah, it's just going fine.
Just having a little limp
There
through.
we go. Yeah, there we go. Does Ian collect modelling solvents as well as car kits? Do you know what? To be honest with you,
You did.
Drew is the same as me. Is that we are inveterate experimenters. Just a new product comes out, we've got to, it's literally kind of like distraction.
But that has reminded me, because we were going all the way back to the conversation about where we started about extra thin, and for linking back to Simon asked if it isn't a peg into a hole that I can bond from behind, Simon, I will use PVA.
Mm-hmm.
I use this one, Zap Canopy Glue Formula 560, which is the wonderful material. I hate to think what you've just got out. Or I will use one of these two. These are my Gator Glue. There's thin and thick. Thin and thick.
You can buy that from most DIY shops as well now, the Gator stuff.
Can you now?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
You're not thinking about the Gorilla stuff, are you?
No, I'm thinking of the Gorilla stuff. You're right. It's got a G at the front, and I'm completely...
Yeah, the Gorilla stuff's pants.
Yeah,
I really don't like it. The other one I use quite a bit is that.
Yeah. Oh, well, no, crystal clear, yeah.
I don't know an aircraft modeler who probably doesn't have that in their armory.
I tell you what, I'm just going to... I do find that quite useful. That's Deluxe, their scatter glue.
That's very similar. That's a PVA, but is it a little wetter than a lot of them?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because it's an acrylic. There's the other one is that I found recently that I quite like is this, which is AK's Crystal Magic.
Funny you say that. I got that from the Works. Gert Big Bottle, £1.50 clear PVA.
Yeah, very similar. This is like. Do you remember Airfix Clearfix?
Yes.
Well, this
isn't quite as stringy.
Similar.
Yeah.
Wow. You see that? In fact, let me do that. Let me do that. Can we see that? It's not very reflective. It's an acrylic. Whoa, hang on. It's like an acrylic medium.
Yeah.
And it obviously dries glossy.
Yeah.
I'm being careful with its use. I'm playing with it. I'm getting a little bit more confident with it. It's quite cool stuff, actually, that.
Well,
special acrylic adhesive, ultra transparent for glue, crystal acetate parts and lenses. Allowed to fill small holes of lens to get a realistic. So it can be an adhesive, and it can also be a clear, clear lens creator. The Gator stuff. This is where my Gator glues are starting to get a little bit old now. I miss Paul Fitzmaurice. Little cars, modelingtools.co.uk.
Yeah.
Miss him at the shows because I'd have bought 2 new ones of them by now.
Mm-hmm.
And those are my last 2.
Ammo of MIG Ultra Glue. That's pretty good stuff as well.
Yeah.
That's like a really grabby PVA.
That's
glue as
basically the same as the Gator glue thin, I believe.
Yeah. Sorry, I was, as you were doing that, I was getting my dehydrator out because at some stage, I'm going to put it away now. At some stage, I will, once I start putting paint on this Zaxpeed, he says, once I start putting paint on the Zaxpeed, that dehydrator will be used in it will be used in all seriousness because
what I suggest you do,
yeah.
So obviously you're building things that aren't necessarily quite as chunky as some of the stuff I build, but obviously that's the same as mine, isn't it? That's the Von Chef one.
It is the Von Chef one.
So you got five of these.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I suggest is 2 of them you do that to.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that means you can adjust the clearance for bigger items to go in it between levels. Yeah. So here's mine as it is today, without the base. So this one is a full shelf. There's 2 of the cutout frames. There's a full shelf. There's a cutout frame, and there's a lid.
Yeah.
I've got a really itchy nose now. I'm really sorry. And that means that I can put. When I had the main body for the Stratos in there drying the other day, I had all 3 of the cutout frames, and then the lid, because that meant there was no risk of anything coming into contact with it.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, I'm going to read through. So I can't select the things. So I'm going to do it for. So Dave, I've always used a separate brush for solvent. Top ones are controllable. That's why I like that MIG one. So the AK one, it is very controllable. It is basically like a paintbrush brush. Let me see if I can show you it in a bit better. So that is an absolutely beautiful thing. And you can do so much with it to get that fine line. Really nice piece of kit, that. Okay, Locks knife. Squeeze to me a filler on the side. It's such a... Not sure what you... Oh, on the sides of the tube. Yes, good point. If you are using tube filler, and here's one I prepared earlier, if you squeeze this way, you'll end up with it squishing out now. If you squeeze the sides, it won't squirt out the tube, and you won't waste any, and it won't fill your cap up, and you don't get dry bits and anything. So squeeze it out, squeeze the sides, pulls it back in. I read that about 3 times, and I couldn't remember, couldn't quite catch, and then suddenly it clicked what you meant. I want to know what Sarah Jane's that's built that's made out of her comfort zone. Okay, Simon. For your hands use the therapy putty. I have trigger fingers, sorts out a treat. You mean this stuff?
Yep, that's good stuff.
Yeah, I use it for masking as well.
Yeah,
which is where I got it. Why I got it? Because Drew told me to use it. Drew said it was better than the expensive stuff, and I have used it on a couple of aircraft. I did a Spitfire Mark 1 camo with it. I thought it was really very useful stuff. Don't know what is it. I'm presuming you're talking about for my arthritis. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Thank you. I shall,
Dave Fleming says, I've moved to watch cement for some things. Smells like old-fashioned cycle repair glue. God, yeah.
Sorry, I was having a Monty Python.
Yeah, puncture repair glue.
Yeah. Bicycle repairman. This stuff. You know what you were saying about, do I collect solvents? Yes.
Yeah.
I like that little needle that goes in the tube.
That's very good.
That's
I might have to get some of that.
Guess where that came from, though? Paul, who has retired officially. Elmer's Purple Glue, yes. American marketplace stuff. It's a PVA. It's very similar to the Formula 560 in a lot of ways. Very similar. Quite quick drying as well. Many moons ago, I bought a piece of furniture. I think it was from MFI or something like that, and there was a full bottle of Elmer's in the packaging, and it was and I was like, this is fantastic. And of course, they don't import it into the UK now.
We've got a question here. It might be the last one tonight, actually. Lox9
Really?
says, how do you rank? We've been going for an hour and 15 minutes, Ian.
I'm having a fabulous time.
I know. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll carry on till 9 then. How do you rank micro gloss, micro satin, and micro flat?
Is that the
little
that's in these
ones,
bottles, isn't it? The water-based
ones, yeah.
You know what? I did used to use them on my aircraft back in the day, but they're not that good on the lacquers.
Mm-hmm.
So as I transitioned through to the lacquers, I started getting what's the word I'm looking for? Mixed results, inconsistent results with them. And we all want a consistent finish. So I switched to using Tamiya's lacquer satin matte and gloss, although I now use the Gunze equivalents of them primarily because I bought bulk of them. And because they also match those rattle cans that we were talking about. Again, it's another one that if you build aircraft and you use acrylic paint, they're really good on. They're very good on acrylic. I'm just reading Sarah Jane's comments about the IndyCar and stuff.
Yeah. What I was going to say, Ian, was I think the slight difference with using I'm just having a look to see if I've got some here. Especially with some of the water-based varnishes, they're fine on aircraft and tanks where you're not going after that finish when they're applied. But when you're using Trizact and polishing compounds, it's got to be a lacquer.
Yeah, they'll peel. Yeah, the thing with when you're applying a clear coat onto a gloss finish and then you want to polish it, there is nothing better than a lacquer or the pre-mix version. Coming back to the 2-pack thing, Aronville, it's a 2-pack clear coat.
Yeah, I saw that.
Just don't touch it. If you get offered it, it's lovely. Loads of people will tell you it's wonderful, and you'll see lots of people using it online and getting really shiny finishes. Potentially, it'll kill you. Choice is yours. Simple. Gator glue, gator glue. Gator glue. From 15 years, that bottle actually probably is 15-year-old locked. Yeah.
There we go. Sarah's. She says, Sarah, we are going to have to get you on the show. Actually, I think that would be. That would be jolly good. Actually, Sarah says my out of comfort zone build, Ian, was an H1 Unlimited 125th scale hydroplane boat. I normally build race cars and bikes only.
Is that the full resin one about this big? Or is it the smaller one that's just come out in the States? I've seen that. I get to Seattle periodically, and I try and get over when it's the Seattle IPMS show at Renton, and there's a guy always with resin hydroplane kits. And you know that thing where you go, I'd love one, but I'd struggle to get it back to the customs. So, but if you haven't bought that in Skyway in Renton, have you? Because if you have, we've been in that shop. But yeah, so Emil is a good friend of mine who runs Skyway and Skyway models in Renton. But those hydroplanes are mental, absolutely mental. They're phenomenal. I'd love that kit. I really would like to have a go at one of them.
There we go. Sarah says no. It's a
that's the one. It's just the newer kit.
DA Graphics.
Yeah.
Right, we're just going to look that up. DA Graphics H1 hydroplane. There we go.
Yeah. Lox is saying gloss varnish is also good for sticking down small plastic parts and small PE. If I'm putting Photoex badges, brackets, non-structural detail on a shell, I tend not to leave it in its natural color because I don't like it. I like it to be painted. It's just me. I think it looks toy-like if you don't. I always use varnish. In a lot of cases, that's about the only thing I actually nowadays use Johnson's Clear for. Because Johnson's Clear has that shrink and grab to it.
Here we go. Fine scale modeler. Kit review. DI International Unlimited hydroplane.
Jet one that Sarah Jane refers to in a moment.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's a bit of a
It's a
monster, isn't
proper
it?
looking thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're nuts as well. Open water racing in those is like, let me just go out here and try and kill myself.
Actually, I think we can. No, we can't. Beautiful looking machine though. But you can see how big these are by the size of the cockpit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually $50. Which yeah, there we go.
Not a bad price, those. Not a bad
That's
price.
a very good price, actually. I mean, there is there we go.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of at least 2, possibly 3 versions now. When I was at Skyway in 2024, one of the either a pre-release or one of the prototypes was being shown off by someone there, because there was a period of time where they used to race in the Puget Sound. I don't know if they still do actually, and he had one, and it was like, this is really, really nice. I was like, yeah. Simple kit. Yeah, it doesn't need to be, does it? It's not a massively complicated shape, I suppose, really. So that's a cool thing.
Ian, right, here we go. Any other business?
Do you want to have a look at something really old?
Yeah, go on. Well, I'm looking at them at the moment. Hey, there we go.
Hey! Right, so here we go. This is, you'll like this. So this is this is one of my ongoing projects. This is a 1965 produced kit, and this is a Lincoln Continental. So, sorry, what am I saying? Not a Lincoln Continental. It's a Chrysler Imperial. That was the other one. So this is the kit. This is the box. So the car is actually a convertible. So the kit, the stock version of this car looks like that. Convertible, 4-seater, but they chose to put the custom version that's in the kit, which is not actually, wasn't a real car. It was an Alexander Brothers customized version, just designed for the kit. It's a pickup, and the problem, I bought this kit thinking it was complete, and it is in fact complete. Only the previous owner had cut the back deck out to make the pickup version, and you get 2 different interiors. In the process of cutting it out, they'd made such an appalling job of it. The bed did not fit. So I'm currently, as you can see, shimming around the edges and making it all fit together.
That's why we have super glue and talcum powder in.
It is. That's where the super glue and talcum powder on my demonstration was used. It was used in here. There's a bit still to sand on there, and here, because I've decided to make it a custom, so I've taken the chrome off the front bumper and I'm molding it in. So this side is what it would look like without. Oh, hang on, get your act together again. That side would look like without. That's the side it looks like with a bit of work on it. It needs a little bit of filler and some sanding in there. I've taken off all the chrome trim that runs along the top of that. I've fitted, there's a fitting piece here for the custom version, so I'm fitting that in. So what I intend to do is fill this and these lines and bring this cut down and across here, and then there's going to be some fed in lights in here. But that plastic is older than me. So that's a 60-year-old bit of plastic. That there's obviously a lot of work going on with opening up the door shuts. And they're full of sanding residue at the minute, but I'm getting it as it should be. But that's the stock. You can see that trim line that runs down here, look. Yeah, and there's bits of it around these openings and around here, so that all needs to be removed to make it match that side. And then it's there's a lovely grill insert in here, big, almost like a basking shark type grill in that. And there is an engine, but yeah,
curbside.
It'll be. I don't know. I'm still planning on what I'm going to do with that. There's a bit of work to do with getting the windscreen frame in place because it arrived bent. I've got to take off the visors because the kit includes, he said, very rapidly reaching behind him for a bag of bits. The roof is designed to fit. The roof fit is actually rather good. So what I'm planning, what I will do is I'll put a tiny like this, there's like a raised bead around here. We'll go back to the zoom. There's a raised bead around this opening. I'll put another bit of that along here so that I can paint this satin black, chrome that bead, and then when I glue it onto the roof, onto the body, I can do it after I've painted the body.
Yeah.
So that makes life a little bit easier. So as you can see, that's rather a cool looking vehicle. The IPMS Hot Rod and Custom Car 6 theme for their display this year is pickups, I'm told.
Okay.
So that might influence why I'm building that.
Just going to say, Ian, that I do love that AMT packaging from the 60s. It's just
stuff.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
I mean, oh, sorry. There's
screams modelling excitement at you, doesn't it?
They're very clever, actually, because they used the box. You remember when Airfix used to put all the other kits in the series in the little
yep.
It's of that era.
Yep.
So if you think about this, so here's the stock version. 5 features, full custom interior, wood grain material. You do in fact get a sheet of wood grain, self-adhesive wood grain.
Yeah.
Custom pickup bed and rails, custom front and rear grille, Hemi engine. So the engine you can build it with a standard set of heads or with a Hemi heads, and that's the stock version. There's a custom.
Just explaining what's a Hemi head on a. It's
Hemi
a hemispherical
hemispherical heads. It works. It's to do with how the V8 is configured and works. Yeah, they're a cool. They're a cool engine. They're like, if you go and buy yourself a Dodge Challenger today, you'll buy a Hemi, and Hemi's gets more power for your bang, basically, in your engine structure. But there are a lot of custom car guys like Hemis because of the way they deliver power and the noise they make and the like. Yeah, it's a car guy thing. But then they put on the other side of the box this panel. So back in the day, they worked with custom car guys, performance car parts manufacturers, people like that. So Firestone, STP, National Hot Rod Association, Potvin Racing Cams were a specialist drag racing parts manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the Alexander Brothers. Now, the Alexander Brothers they only operated for a short while, but they were some of the most influential custom car designs of the 60s. If you get Lee Croden, my friend, talking about the Alexander Brothers, get another pint in. You're going to be there a while. CB headlights, custom dashboard. That's in. So you get 2 dashes. You get a stock one and a custom. You get custom wheel hubs. You get custom interior parts. Although the seats are molded into the floor, all this is in the box. But they also choose to advertise their paint range.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got they did lacquer custom sprays. Bear in mind, this is 1965. So these are rattle cans, spray cans in color matches that were consistent. Beautifully done. But the best bit about it is this is the little thing that they do. The product number is 6815. That 200, that's the price. This kit costs $2. If you want one of them untouched in the UK market right now, and you can find one in its original box, you will pay somewhere in the region of 250 to $300.
I was just going to say that 200 on the box is no longer $2, so it's $200 or 200 quid.
Well, no, that kit no longer exists. As far as we're aware, the tooling is gone because Round 2, who now own AMT, have made no comment as to whether they even own that tooling anymore. And knowing how rare it is and knowing how historically important it is, if they had it, we'd have it by now.
Yeah. I'm just going to... Sarah Jane has sent in some photographs of her...
that's the piston version of that car. That's really nice.
That's wicked, isn't it? That's so...
I love that.
Also, I think these were from the other week. Her BMW M4 as well,
Yeah.
which is rather dandy. So yeah,
Am I
Sarah,
right? Am I right?
we would love to have you on the show. Actually,
Am I right that she's in the States? Am I right there?
I'm quite.
I think so.
I'm sure Sarah. I'm sure Sarah will put us right there. But
Yeah.
fabulous stuff. Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
9
We're out
o'clock.
of time, Ian. We're not out of time. I'm gonna flannel for at least another 30 seconds and get us up to the 90-minute mark. Go for the full 90
Well, let me
minutes.
do that. So remember
Go on.
this?
Oh yeah.
You've
Go
seen
on.
this before. So this is my 50 Ford convertible with the very rare part on the roof on it. This roof was only in the first couple of boxes of it when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's too close to Bletchley Park.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
good.
all right, fair enough. This is the 50 Ford that's still available. When that kit first came out, this 50, I've got to get this right, it's either a 51 or a 53 Victoria, I can't remember which one, a chopped roof was in the box. It's not now. It was only in the first couple of releases, and I got this one from a friend. It was on a model that her late father had built, and I've recycled it onto this one. And so I've been working on this for a while, and a few months ago I did a thing about painting it silver. That's now at a point where I think I'm about ready to go with upper surface color, but I'm going to use a candy, like a clear over this silver. So my next job is a couple of coats of clear coat, a couple of sealing coats, and then a couple of wet coats to get a nice clear coat, gloss finish on that before I start hitting it with the candy colors.
What's the silver finish?
This is a Gunze color. It's a color they call coarse silver. So it's in the GX range again, which we talked about before, which are the bigger bottles. So this is GX 208. GX 208 rough silver, which is intended to be a high grain. You can see it there, look.
Yeah, you can see it sparkling.
Yeah, so it's designed to go under their range of
Candies.
Yeah.
So what does that do? Does that bounce the light of the candy coat and give it that? Yeah.
Yeah, it pitches the lights back and gives you that real sparkle under the color. I'm sat here, I've just spotted something, but we'll not talk about that. But anyway, but yeah, so that's it. But I think by now people will know how much I like this stuff. I mean, that was sprayed. This, which I'm now handling, was sprayed whilst my laptop was doing its update.
Good Lord.
Thinned with rapid thinner.
Yep.
Sprayed on with the simplest ultra airbrush, the little twin action Harder and Steenbeck Ultra, which is one of my go-to weapons. And there you go. Ready to go.
I know Drew will say that when it comes to, I think Drew and Spence would say this, that when it comes to spraying any of the metallic lacquers, rapid thinner is your friend.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because most of the time we're using a slow drying lacquer thinner.
So to get your gloss finish where you want your paint to level out, smooth finish, your leveling thinners are ideal. So the Tamiya lacquer with retardant is very good, actually. It's as good as the leveling. It's just not quite as versatile. The leveling will go in 99% of stuff. But the rapid is specifically for lacquers. Don't try and use it with the aqueous, particularly not the X and XF line. Tamiya, it gets messy. I spent a not very happy 45 minutes cleaning an airbrush out after I made that mistake when I first got it. But the rapid stuff, and it's lovely. Rapid's a really good tool. If you want to, and again, we come back to when you use applications, you can treat the Mr. Hobby thinners like a tool. In that, if I've got a jar of Tamiya satin black, I can thin that with any of the lacquer thinners. So Tamiya with and without retarder, rapid Gunze, standard Gunze or leveling, and I will get 3 distinctly different finishes.
Mm.
They'll all be black, but the way they look will change. So if I'm doing, and we've talked about this before, I'm doing a black interior, I will deliberately mask panels out and spray them with the same color of paint, thinned with a different version.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so if I use the leveling on the seat to give that nice vinyl-y black finish or leathery black finish with a bit of gloss to it, I might do the door card inserts or surrounds with Rapid, because that gives me a matter, a more, a less shiny finish, and you get a nice contrast. But you're still just using basically using the same paint.
Yeah.
So you're using the thinner as a tool, rather than as a means of spraying it.
I will be picking your brains when it comes around to spraying this Zac Speed at the moment. But yeah, it's a rally car, so it's not going to be a concours finish. It just needs to be a nice glossy finish.
It's black, isn't it?
Yep.
Give it a coat of that.
Well, actually, let me just bear with. He said, got 2 cans of that.
Well, this is Mr. Finishing Surface of 1500.
Yeah.
This is a primer. Before you go, this goes underneath what you had in your hand.
Well, would I bother with a primer, or would I just put the Tamiya gloss black straight onto plastic?
You can. I wouldn't.
No, that's fine. All right, that's fine. I'm taking expert advice.
This will show me all the little niggly bits that I need to put right before I put my gloss coat.
Yeah, and also you can polish down that primer coat with your Trizact anyway. So, on that note, on that bombshell, goodness me, Ian, we've done an hour and 35 minutes tonight. That has been brilliant. Do you know what? This Q&A format works brilliantly. It's nice to have the news items, but I think we found a good format tonight.
Obviously, it's not something we'd do every time, but I quite enjoyed that, because I can talk rubbish like a quick.
Brilliant, absolutely fabulous. So a big thank you to everybody who's tuned in tonight. Here we go. Mike Williams says Tamiya X18 semi-gloss black sprays beautifully with leveling thinner, gives a superb satin black finish, which I've got some. Yep.
Get you 3 plastic spoons, one with leveling, one with standard Gunze and one with rapid Gunze, and spray them out and put them side by side. And you'll see. And if you disagree with me, put the pictures up. But I think you'll see what I mean there. Worth to play with.
Absolutely. So a big thank you to everybody who's tuned in tonight, and especially a big thank you to Ian for giving of his time for over an hour and a half tonight. Ian, that's pretty good stuff.
Well, the fingers aren't on at the minute, mate, so I've got no else to do.
Fingers crossed, we'll be back next Sunday with a news-packed Sunday service. I'm also going to be cracking on with my M36, which I've got a build for Telford, but that's tanks. We'll talk about that next week. Until the next time, as always, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay out of trouble, and tonight we will leave you with this. Good night.
Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here. This is Houston. Say again, please. Houston, we've had a problem. We've had a main B plus undervolt. Roger, main B undervolt. Okay, stand by, 13. We're looking at it.